Welcome to My Life on Paper. I am Brianna, and welcome to day 12 of Follow a Sketch February. Today is the 13th, but I did have a video yesterday, so here is the sketch we are using. And I flipped the sketch. I have 3 4x6 photos I've been waiting to scrapbook a long time. These are of mine and my daughter Meredith's trip to Green Bay. We live about 2.5 hours away, and our annual conference is there for church. So I grabbed out this collection by close to my heart. It's 20 years old, and I've used it recently. But the pages in will be several. They're a couple months apart, the layouts, so therefore they won't be like sitting next to each other. It won't look weird that I use the same collection on 2 different layouts. In case you're worried about that, which I am not. There's not a lot to this collection left. It's just the paper, and what you see here is what I have. So the polka dot is up above, underneath the sketch. We've got this black with the floral and the creams, and then there's 2 different papers I'm using on here that I use the end of those papers. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but there's just like a cream floral on there, and there's a cream and white floral. So those are the end of that. And I'm just going to take what I have at first, fishtail banner, all of them. I'm not going to worry about length because those are going to tuck behind the photos. And then what I'll do from there is, I think the black ones are the only ones I didn't have the thinner strips. And if you notice on the sketch, there is some thicker ones. So I used the ones that were already cut as the thinner ones. I'm making the polka dot ones thicker and not really super, like I think I make them 3/4 of an inch. Maybe I made them a couple different sizes. Yeah, you can tell that one might be like an inch or an inch and a quarter. So just to give it a little bit of variation. And then I don't pay attention real close to how those are going down, honestly. I was watching the Super Bowl while I was putting this together. So it helps me when I don't have this to focus on, that I can be random, if that makes sense. If I wasn't like engaged in the football game, I might go, oh look, this one's too close to this one, and let's move this one around, and when truly this is random. Once I get them down and it's pleasing to the eye, I will start to glue them all down. I don't have a super, I'm not set in stone on where these photos are going to end up. I don't know if these banners are going to look really long underneath them or if they'll be really short. I have to decide where my title goes. The title in the sketch is going over the banners, but I am thinking about putting it on top. So I just use my Barely Art glue to get them down. Now, normally I would probably use my ATG, but it just felt like I could go one at a time kind of better with a little bit more control with the glue. And it works really well. This glue, you have a little wiggle room to move it around, but then it's going to set pretty quickly. So that's helpful, that other things aren't moving around while you're trying to get all the banners down. We've talked about this before. The sketch is just the jumping off point. I decided to do the fishtail banners. I didn't have to. I could have done other things. And I'm interested to see how many people do kind of flip the sketch, because this one is super easy to do. They're all super easy to flip them. So next I'm going to go into my embellishments, and I've already pulled some things out. Like I've said, my embellishments are kept in color, not color order, colors together. So I have like an iris container of just white and off-white, and these are cut aparts. They're all punched out from a sheet. I'm not sure where I got it. I was from a paper pad. So for more easy access, I've already punched them all out, and I'm just kind of going in with no preconceived ideas of what I might want. You can see in the sketch there's 3 clusters, and oftentimes I stick pretty close to what's in the sketch. And that's not always all the time, obviously, but if there's 3 clusters, chances are pretty good I'm going with 3 clusters. Here's an example of kind of where I did go kind of, I don't know, off the sketch or above and beyond. Oh, and I'm looking at a lot of options. So this is like a kind of a label, but I've got the label and I've got some ribbon, so I thought I'd just lay that up there. I end up forgetting about it later, but this is another kind of a punch out, and I believe that's a close to my heart as well. So I lay that down there, thinking about that. The arrow is from the paper pad that was punched out, and these they're kind of nail head flowers, and those I got. It would have been like secondhand somewhere, whether it was at a kind of a yard sale or if it was at a scrapbook retreat where we were kind of doing a yard sale. So I lay these out and then I go to my Cricut and I cut out the title, and it was a pre-done title that said, I love Green Bay. And like I said, the pictures are from Green Bay. They're from 3 different places that we went out to. I have to tell you, the blonde stout was delicious. And I think it says right on the photo it was yummy. So again, I'll use my Barely Art glue to not lay it down upside down, lay it the correct way. And I start from the right hand side because I thought I'd have a lot more room. When you cut it on the Cricut, I love is on one line and Green Bay is in the next. So I made it nice and big knowing I had this whole space to use, but it just fits. So start with the last word or last part of the word to make sure that it's all the way to the right. And then I kind of squeeze things in from there, honestly. If I had more room, Green and Bay would be a little bit separated out, but it reads really well in that it's got the capital G, capital B, and I probably wouldn't be so concerned, but I'm from Green Bay, so I know it's 2 words. And then the I and the heart go down where they have room, and it fits just barely. So that's a good thing. I will go ahead and glue those photos down just with a little ATG just to get them in place. I have always had good luck with this. I get my refills from Tape Jungle. I get them by the case, so it's cheaper and it lasts me at least a year. This year I got a bigger case and it might be 2 years. But I've never had problems like over the years with any of my adhesives. I shouldn't say that. I can't say any of my adhesives, but this adhesive in particular coming apart. So I don't over adhesive anything. And I learned that honestly early on. I like that big circular arrow, and I honestly thought about putting in a couple more arrows, but this is the only arrow that ends up on the page, but it just, it's not part of the sketch, but I like how it points to my favorite beer that I had that weekend. So there you go. That'll be part of the journaling. I did not leave room. I didn't put any space for journaling. That's usually a thing where when it comes to journaling, then I will pick out a label or something, and that's like a little extra bit. So I'm not always super worried about getting the journaling space on, knowing that I'll work it into the layout later at some point, and just find whatever makes sense. Okay, so those flowers were part of the punch outs, but I didn't have enough. So I go in, the big ones anyway. There was that tiny little one. I think I ended up using that. I have a punch that looks pretty darn close, especially when you throw the nail head over the top of it. So I punched out 2 more of those. And and I said time and time again, I love getting stuff out of my stash. So now I've got a couple of punch outs out of my stash. I got the nail head out of my stash. I've got the border, I don't know, the whimsical border, the swirly border out of my stash, as well as the arrow. And then I will pull a couple of these black florals out that have kind of a gem in the middle. I'm almost positive those are Paper Studio. I do like to go to Hobby Lobby just to get some finishing touches from there. Nothing themey necessarily, just something that would go with anything. So the black, you don't see them yet, but the black florals with the gem in the middle are from there. So here I left this in. This is a nail head, and first I tried to put it through all the paper as well, and I gave up on that quite quickly because the paper is thick. So I just put it through the flower, and then I'm using my scissors to push those tines in. And you have to go around twice because you can't, the way they're set so close, it's like you can't even push them in all the way because the one next to it's in the way. But if you go around twice, it works well. So there's the other, and then I layer up, like I said, that Paper Studio flower. I'm just using glue to glue it all down. And I do believe on this flower, I glue it all down with the glue. On one of them, actually, you know what? So this one has a little dimension up to it, so I just use the glue to glue that all down. I believe I do the same with the one up on top, because you'll see me put the nail head on. It was already glued down. I'll put the nail head down and then just do the same thing where this one gave. So I did poke holes into that last one, but it's kind of hard to, because I poked it, maybe this won't make sense. I tried so hard to get that one in that it left dents on the first one. So then I was able to use my pokey tool and make holes and do it that way. This one I just went for it and it worked okay without the pre-poking the holes. But like I said, you have to go around twice to get all the tines down really well. And that's where I put the dimensional tape. Oh, it is on that one. So I used my foam tape to, because I just wanted to make sure that was going to be glued down well. And then I'll layer one of the, there we go, the florals on there with the gem in the middle. And then just one more, but this one doesn't get the nail head. So I grabbed out a bigger, I want to show, I tried the little one. It didn't look as good because I tried a button. Maybe I'd give it a little dimension. Nope, that's not working. So I grabbed out a bigger floral and that was the thing it needed. So there's that. Down below, you'll find the playlist if everybody's playing along with Follow Sketch February. And thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Come back again soon, and I will see you again soon. Have a fabulous day.